we're going to begin our sacred service. This is a celebration of an auspicious, incredible day, the high holy day of Mother Mary, when she was crowned Queen of the Heavens, which is an awesome, awesome acknowledgement of her equality. And so I've asked Christine Toulis, who is our harpist and heartfelt singer, divine healer of the divine feminine. Yay! And so Christine is going to open our sacred space with her beautiful song from her heart called Radiant Spirit.
Hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Radiant spirit of love, you are the core of my being. You whisper secrets of God in the hidden chambers of my heart. Illuminate my vision. Teach me the path of love. Help me embody your beautiful ways, that I might spread your grace. Radiant spirit of love, creator, healer, guide. You are the source in the inner temple of my heart. Illuminate my vision. Teach me the path of love. Help me embody your beautiful ways, that I might bring your grace.
Thank you so much, Christine. You are such a master of bringing us right into our hearts. And we love you so much for being a part of this community that honors the sacred feminine in such a profound and deep way. So thank you. Blessings. So today is the high holy day of the Queenship of Mary. This is the day when Mary was crowned Queen of the Heavens. She was raised up and placed in equal status with Jesus. So we are entering a new time, a time of the new earth, where we see the return of the sacred holy woman, the high priestess. This afternoon is the initiation of the divine feminine activation awakeners, and that is all of you. If you are here tonight, you heard the call and you have responded, or if you're watching at a later date, you felt the urge to come and join and listen and learn. Why? Because we have gone through years of suppression. And when you think about it, when my mother was born, women didn't have the right to vote. And when I became an adult woman in my 70s, women were allowed, we were allowed to have credit cards in our own names, because women were considered property. They were owned by their husbands. They took their husbands' names. And but the world is changing. And this afternoon's program is also collaborating and joining with tonight's program, the Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe, which is a tremendous humanitarian effort to open and raise the consciousness of all of us. So we are so thrilled to be in partnership with them. And you will meet today and tonight some of the most amazing women who are leading the national impact of the changes that have happened. These are women who have bust through glass ceilings to return the presence of the goddess culture. They have ignored and disregarded what the patriarch might say, and many have overcome the worst abuses imaginable. You cannot believe what some of these women, however, they all rose above any victim consciousness, and they, along with us, claimed their higher self and manifested a different reality. They are powerful women to learn from. So I am so honored and humbled to share this platform with all of you. And the time, as we know, has come for a greater truth to come forth as we honor the Queen of Heaven, Mother Mary. For on this, her high holy day, we have felt called to serve her. You have heard her call beyond the veil. And if you feel called to serve her, we call you the forerunners of Mary. You may not have known exactly what or how she wanted you to serve, but you are standing, waiting, and ready to serve. This is a new day and a new time, and this time we call the way of Mary. For what is being revealed to us, to many of us from beyond the veil, is that Mary is one of the greatest masters to have walked this planet. For as Jesus says in A Course of Love, it was my mother who informed me how to be my Christed self, because her consciousness was so high and she was so in integrity with the truth of who she was as a spiritual being, as a sacred holy woman, that she was able to impart this information and inform me how to step in and become my Christed self. So we are really, really fortunate that we are living at this time. And, one of the first things when I became ordained on 10-10-10, I had a vision for a ceremony. And I'd never done anything like this before. But my vision was that I was to create a ceremony to honor Mother Mary for her consciousness to conceive light and birth a God. And right at the time that this happened, Dr. Marguerite Regulato, who is on this Zoom with us today, and so you will hear more from her. And tonight she's going to be, don't want to miss that, because tonight she'll be talking about her new book coming out on her experiences with Mother Mary and her phenomenal research. But her new book had just come out called The Virgin Mother Goddess of Antiquity. And so she joined with me to honor Mother Mary's consciousness. And suddenly a month later, we were standing before 100 people to honor Mother Mary, with many of the women on this call and the women that you'll see tonight, like Celestine Starr, who joined us. As this was for me a launch of new information, that it's Mother Mary's consciousness that is informing the world of this new earth. And we have a lot to learn from her. If you're open-minded enough to receive it, And that's kind of what the Course of Love is saying, is that we've now stepped into a time where there are enough open-minded people like you. So we're so thrilled and happy to have you with us. So I'm joined here tonight to make this claim that she has risen. And we are here. All these beautiful, wonderful women and the men that support the Divine Feminine, we are here. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So, and as with any vision that I have, it's always curious to me to check out, what does the astrology say? So my vision for today was that we were supposed to do a ceremony or do an acknowledgement or an appreciation of Mother Mary from 2 to 4. So I called up my dear friend Karen LaPuma. She's the astrologist. So Scott, maybe we could go to, hey, Karen, great, welcome. Karen is going to share a little bit about why this time is so auspicious and so powerful. Thank you, Karen. Tell us what's going on. Why is this time so great?
Archetypes are living entities that are in the collective unconscious. And we have so many feminine archetypes right now that are coming up and being awakened. We have right now a triple conjunction in Capricorn. Jupiter, which is expansion, amplifies whatever happens. Saturn, which is binding, restricting, limiting. And Pluto, which is death, rebirth, catharsis. And these are all in the sign of Capricorn, which is structures and government and, power in the outer world. And so these three guys are sitting here and they are being squared. We actually have a T square, but they're being squared by Mars and Aries. Aries is the individual, sovereignty over the self. Mars is in Aries is a warrior, an activator, and it's charging in, but it is connected with Eros, E-R-I-S. Eros is the feminine awakener. She's the revealer of discord. She doesn't create discord. She shows us, and we stand up in Aries. And so Mars is activating the feminine awakener and conflicting with these patriarchal energies that are in a stodgy, structural, I don't want to change kind of energy. And this is a cardinal T-square. And cardinal is motivated and driven and goal-directed. So this is energy. And so on the other side, we have Venus today is on the Cancer side, Venus in Cancer, and it's in this chart of this moment is conjunct the vortex, and the vortex is destiny. And so Venus in Cancer activating, being squared by Mars and Eros and opposition with Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn is saying, love, keep your heart open. Venus in Cancer is a wonderful place for Cancer. It's a nurturing. We don't want to lose our feminine energy, but we need to be active. And so, and this energy on the other side is Juno. Juno is the commitment in Libra, committed to equality and balance and justice. And so this particular energy this is where our moon is, and they are exact minutes away. Our moon today is in 21 Libra, and Juno is 21 Libra. They're like 30 minutes apart, which is really tight. So moon in Libra is our emotional nature, and it says be committed to taking equality and peace and balance and beauty and energy. And this is that T-square that's being formed. Now there's also Venus is really in a positive opportunistic aspect with Uranus. Uranus is the revolutionizing, energizing. It's the rebel genius. So we have creative ways right now that are opportunities to create and to be a feminine in a different way. And so so this is a dynamo energy. Not only like this is what we're experiencing right now in a general way. The cosmic dance is so profound, but because today our moon, the feminine aspect is right in there and exactly conjunct that Juno, we need to make a commitment to this understanding that we're in the death throes of the old regime. We're in the birth canal. And like we're remodeling our kitchen, there's destruction before the rebirth and beauty. And that we're just beginning, because this chart is like 29, it begins, and we just moved into Virgo, the sun, the consciousness. So we're at the beginning of this big, tremendous time of transformation. Is we need to commit, and we need to use our creativity and raise our vibration. And remember, these archetypes are most profound. I'm so enthralled with these dwarf planets that were discovered in the 2000s, like 2003, 2004. Eros is one of them, and Sedna is another. And our chart today has Sedna right at the descendant. And so it's a pivotal point. This is us as a group. And our moon is in the 11th house, which is the group endeavor. Sedna is the outer limits, and it represents spiritual destiny. And the myth is that she was a young woman who wanted to find a husband. It's an Inuit myth. And but she couldn't find one, and all of a sudden this man came, and he was gorgeous, and so she married him, and he ends up being a demon. So she calls her father, and her father comes to rescue her. And on the boat, they're trying to escape, and then the husband creates, he's supernatural, and he creates this horrible storm, and she holds on for dear life on the boat. Her father kicks her off, but she holds on, and he has to cut off her fingers. And the fingers, as soon as she falls into the water, is when she becomes conscious. Everything before that was unconsciousness. So we need to remember that on our growth, and she becomes the food supply and important. So what this is saying is that we sometimes have to have a radical acceptance of what is right now, and that this is and we have to be counterintuitive to go inward and to express, surrender, rather than hold on for dear life our old beliefs and old habits. So this is very, very profound. And I forgot one other. The most important thing of this T-square that we're having is conjunct Venus is Hamaya. And this is another one. Hamaya, another dwarf planet. Hamaya is she's the goddess of rebirth and fertility. And she can give birth from all parts of her body. And she can be old and then regenerate herself. And so even though we're having this battle, and this feminine awakener is battling the patriarchal power struggles and power structures, we have this enormous creativity, rebirth energy. We have the commitment. We have the creativity and the innovativeness to regenerate ourselves. And the most important thing is that to live these archetypes. And the archetype that I have been living and writing about in my series of books, Toolkit for Awakening, is the goddess warrior on the hero's journey. Goddess is to love and allow and accept what is. The warrior says, I'm willing, I want to be a better person. The hero says a step-by-step process. I'm willing to be proactive. I'm willing to love and allow and accept what is and break free of struggle and control issues. And I'm willing to be, this is the warrior, intention, attention, and responsibility, and make life sacred, and be the change you want to see in the world. So this is the image. So live these archetypes. Mary, the Divine Mother, the Goddess in any form she takes, and the warrior. We're all heroes. The Mars is that hero, the activating that energy. So we need to become this archetype in whatever form. And I believe that through this archetype, we have the ability to heal, transform, regenerate, and be the best integrated human being that we can be. So take a hold of this opportunity. Be the light that we want. Shine your light. Keep your vibration high. We are the ones. This is our time. It is the woman, the feminine in both men. And goddess warriors are men too. Because if you believe that the divine light shines within, you are a goddess. If you want to be a better person, then you are a warrior.
Thank you so much, Karen. That was wonderful. So can you imagine that this is all happening right now between 2 and 4? This is when all these energies that she's talked about, when this activation of Mars to the goddess Eros, which I'm going to ask Marguerite to come on because she's done so much work with her, and it's so beautiful in the way that she honors her, and she's going to tell her stories. So thank you so much, Karen. And her website, you can get to find out about Karen LaPuma and all of her work and get astrology readings for her. So thank you so much, Karen. We really, really appreciate you sharing. So I just wanted to just take a moment and have everybody put their hand on their heart, because it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, but it's this claiming of this new emerging divine feminine activation awakener. You all are divine feminine activation awakeners, be you outer feminine or inner feminine. It doesn't matter. It's this bringing forth of what Karen was talking about, the creativity, the power to create the new earth. She's talking about all these creative juices. We've got this Hawaiian goddess who bursts from every orifice of her body. So it's a powerful energy that we can claim right now to envision and see a new earth. So thank you all for taking this moment and allowing yourself to be in. And Connie's going to initiate you later. So Marguerite Regulato, I am so honored and happy that you are here with us. Marguerite will be talking this evening. She's got a very exciting new book coming out on Mother Mary, so she's going to be sharing. So you do want to hop on that. And Scott will tell you after Marguerite does her thing to how you can do that. But Marguerite she's the founder of the Seven Sisters Mystery School. And I have just been in love with you from day one when I was guided to do a sacred ceremony with you, and we have done many to honor the mother. So I'm going to let you inform us about this beautiful goddess, Eros, who is sometimes called the goddess strife and discord, which we have lots of that going on right now. So thank you, Marguerite.
All right. Well, thank you, Christy, for having me here, and Scott for navigating us all, and everybody who's here, who's going to be speaking, and also who's attending and watching either live or later. Yeah, something's been happening to me. I've had like maybe the worst 24 hours in recent history. And I realized that I was really being gripped by the goddess Eris. I was up half the night, and I was thinking all these strife-filled thoughts about people in my life, or have people who have been sending me strife energies. And, you know, this was going on literally till 4 a.m. I didn't sleep enough. And then I woke up and I was still in this high anxiety, strife. And I realized, wow, okay, when you sign up or get invited to talk about a challenging goddess, you will meet her or be with her if what you're going to do is real. So just letting you know, I've been putting in my time here today, and we all have, right? Because one way or another, this is a massive time of strife. There's the bifurcation and trifurcation and quadruplication of worlds as everybody moves into their different realities, correct, about what's happening. You might have certain views. Somebody you love or have been married to for however many years might have a totally different view. And whether your relationship is going to make it at this time, you know, this is the testing ground. So many of us are starting to fracture and come apart and move away. So strife is really alive. She's really active, and hearing that she is conjunct with Mars and squaring Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. I mean, oh my God, we might as well just go into bed with our covers pulled up over our heads. And it feels like it's going to be this way for a while, you know. So the only way I was getting through that night was with Mother Mary and feeling her holding me or having me in her womb. And this has been sort of the desperate place that I've gone to these days, you know, because these are some pretty intense days, weeks, months, and we don't know how many years on planet Earth right now. This is requiring so much stamina. Eris is coming through strongly. Now, she was virgin born of her mother, Night. The goddess Night, Nux, gave birth to Eris. And Eris herself was literally the personified, she is the personified spirit of strife, discord, contention, and rivalry, right? So just feel that. Where and when in your life, now, in the past, have you felt rivalry, contention, strife? That's Eris flowing through you and your dynamics with the people in your life. So she was often more specifically portrayed as the daimon, or the spirit of war, of hunting, of the battlefield, and she delighted in human bloodshed. So this is no, you know, sweet goddess. Okay, this is one of the really intense goddess females. And who do we find out were her siblings? Doom. Okay, take this in, right? One big happy family. Doom, death, violent death, blame, misery, envy, deceit, and old age. Those were her brothers and sisters.
Wow.
But yet the Greeks always throw us a bone, okay? Because her siblings also included sleep and friendship. So it's as though the opposite, medicine, is always somewhere in the mix when it seems the most horrible, like, how could we ever survive this panoply, you know, this committee of negative energies? Well, friendship gets thrown in there. Now, Eris herself was the mother of the evil spirits who plague mankind. Now think about that. You know, a lot of us are feeling like Earth right now is under psychic attack from whatever kind of family, astral family you want to call it, okay? Interdimensional beings. She's the mother of these beings. And because of this, she was the only one not to be invited to a special wedding of Peleus and Thetis, the sea nymph. But she came anyway. because, you know, she's all about strife. She's like, I wasn't invited. Well, time to go to the wedding. And she was refused admittance, and she got enraged. And she threw a golden apple into the wedding. And it said, to the most beautiful. And she cast a spell of rivalry among the three goddesses, Hera, Aphrodite, and Athena. And they, according to this story, they began to fight. Even these great goddesses, right, began to fight over this apple and this honor, who was going to be the most beautiful. And because Zeus had Paris or Alexander be the judge of, well, which goddess was going to be considered the most beautiful, all of these goddesses gave in their petition. They said, oh, Paris, they began to fight. Even these great, if you choose me, Hera said, you know, I will make you king. Athena said, I will make you victorious in war. And Aphrodite said, I will give you Helen of Troy. And Paris said, I'll take Helen of Troy. And that started the Trojan War, which really is a Pleiadian battle that took place on the earth plane. But I'm going to just leave us with this one last piece about strife. In Aesop's fable, Heracles was making his way through a narrow passage, and he saw something on the ground that looked like an apple. And then he tried to smash it with his club. Well, what happened? After he struck this apple with a club, it swelled to twice its size. And then he struck it again, even harder than before, and it expanded to such a size that it blocked Heracles' way from going forward. And he let go of his club, and he just stood there dumbfounded. And Athena, the goddess of wisdom, saw him and said, well, don't be surprised. This thing that has brought about your confusion is contentiousness and strife, Eris. And she said, if you just leave it alone, it stays small. But if you decide to fight it, then it swells from its small size and grows large. Okay? That's a lesson to all of us. And to me, in the middle of the night, screaming about this person and that person, I was really making strife big. I was blocking my way from being able to go forward and love the love of Mother Mary. So we have to come back into community like we're doing today, be with each other, and strengthen ourselves, get into deep self-care so that we do not strike the apple of discord and make it much, much larger in our lives and in our world than we need to. But there's a role for strife. She's passion, as Karen was saying. And so I make this offering to strife, to Eris, to discord. I honor you, the role that you play in this realm of duality, the passion that you bring. Sometimes your anger is needed for us to bring things to light that have been hidden, for us to set boundaries, and for us to get on the better path. And for this, Eris, I honor you. Blessed be.
Well, thank you, Marguerite. And people can learn more about what she's doing by going to 7sistersmysteryschool.com. I've got it up for everybody to look at, 7sistersmysteryschool.com. Or you can see Marguerite on Saturday Night Alive for the Global Peace Tribe. Marguerite's going to be presenting, and you can watch on any of the Facebook pages you're on right now is by going to globalpeacetribe.com. If you go to globalpeacetribe.com, that's how you can register and come on into the Zoom room. So thank you very much, Marguerite.
Thank you so much, Marguerite. That was so powerful. I love hearing the goddess stories. They inform us with a greater truth. You know, Joseph Campbell used to say that sometimes there is more truth in the myth than the actual reality of truth. So it's important for us to hear these stories and remember these stories because they tell about our human psyche and they give us clues about how to wake up. And friendship, that was a tremendous clue. I want you to know that everybody that's on this panel with us, that's involved in this sacred ceremony, are all profound, loving friends with each other and with me. So this is an expression of friendship. And we all love each other. There's one of my dearest friends, Sheila, who works with Double Pride. And I'm going to call on now my dear friend, Jai, who is a music teacher and a professional songwriter and has done over 80 songs. And I asked Jai to come on. He's worked with major label artists who use the in film and television, many of his works. So he's quite famous, and we are so grateful and honored that you joined us, Jai. But he wrote a song, which many of you are going to recognize. It's called I Love Myself the Way I Am. Because in the midst of strife, what do? We gather with our friends. We open our hearts to love. We recommit to this beauty and truth of who we are. And we learn to love ourselves in spite of whatever is going on. So Jai, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Christy, for opening up the space. And also want to thank another wonderful female light of the world who brought this song to hundreds of thousands of people, Louise Hay, who made it her theme song. And
wow.
Those of you that have heard it, please sing along. I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. And I love you just the way you are. There's nothing you need to do. 'Cause when I feel the love inside myself, it's easy to love you. Behind your fears, your rage and tears, I see your shining star. And I love you just the way you are. This verse is a hard one in these times, but it's still true. I love the world the way it is, 'cause I can clearly see that all the things I judge are done by people just like me. So until the birth of peace on earth that only love will bring, I'll help it grow by loving everything. I love the world. I love myself the way I am. And still I want to grow. But change outside, it only comes when deep inside I know I'm beautiful and capable of being the best me I can. And I love myself just the way I am. I love myself just the way I am. Just the way I am.
Thank you so much, Jai. Wow, that just said it all. Beautiful. Blessings to you. And, you know, Jai has wonderful offerings, so please check out Jai on his website and make connections and listen to his music more. Thank you. So when we do a Divine Feminine celebration, we always include the men because we have a new kind of man that's emerging in this new earth. And men need to see the demonstration of who these men are. So I have invited Dan Craig Morris to come on. And Dan is a scholar of the Sophia. And he got his master's degree in spirituality. And he's done an incredible deep dive into the deep ancient literature on who Sophia is. And so I've asked Dan to come on to speak about how the men, the new men of the new earth, feel about the rise of the Divine Feminine.
Thank you, Christy. And thank you, everybody. This is, of course, a real honor to be here and a joy. You know, Karen was talking, and in terms of invoking the archetypes, just to share, I have Mars in Aries, and it's part of a T-square. And so I want to invoke Mars in Aries here in this moment, and to really call in the masculine as a counterpart anchor to the sacred feminine and the rise and return of the sacred feminine. And that we don't have to collapse our masculinity to do so. In fact, we can really call on it to support it. So what I want to do is just make a statement of support to you women and to the sacred feminine. As men, we welcome into ourselves the feminine aspect of our nature, and we are not ashamed of this. As men, we strive to recognize and dismantle the privilege that comes to us men with the patriarchal monotheistic religions, where men have been more valued, while women and women's voices have been sidelined and silenced. We raise our swords of fierce love to set a boundary against the systematic suppression of the sacred feminine and the women who carry it. As men, we support you, women, keeping our egos in check as we honor you and bow to the wisdom that you are bringing forward at this most important time. Women and the sacred feminine, we are here for you. I'd like to invite Michael and then Jai and Scott to just chime in.
Thank you. First of all, I want to honor my beloved wife here. from the sacred masculine. But I also want to say to the other men out there in the audience that they have already proven, as I've seen many protests around the world, the United States, and every other country, where the men have stood up with the women. And to hold the power that they have within themselves to move forward progressively to help the women in what is going on now today. And as we move forward, the men have already stood up. They have proven themselves. They're moving forward. They're holding their hands to the women or their partners, or whoever they are, girlfriends, and they are rising up. And I want to honor all the women out there who hold the power of the mother.
Wow.
Thank you, Michael. Jai.
Oh, I think I'll put just a tiny little bit of humor in this. So I've been told that when men run things completely on their own without the feminine, to use a deer metaphor, it is a stagnation. But if you allow women their space and their energy to move forward, it becomes a donation. I'm wholeheartedly behind that, and thank you. Thank you, Christy, and thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Jai. We turn it back to Scott, who of course is anchoring this whole thing. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you. You know, really, it's kind of riffing on what we just heard Jai say. In my 64 years on this planet, I have grown to really learn on so many levels. Let the women lead. Let the women lead. It's up to us as men to take our strength and back up the power of the feminine. You know, large nonprofit organizations, the really big ones, they've learned, give the money to the grandmothers. Give the money to the grandmothers, and the food will get to the tribe. The housing will be done. And so it is very important for us as men to be humble and to really use our strength to support the divine feminine wisdom, because when the woman feels safe and she can relax through the strength of the man, then she becomes that receptacle for divine wisdom to flow through. So as we're celebrating the rise of the divine feminine today and tonight, that's what I want to offer. And turn it back over to you, Dan.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Christy, and all of you. We're here for you.
Thank you, Dan. That was so touching and so moving. I am deeply grateful and deeply honored that you are my friend.
Yes, mutually.
Yes, and I love you so much. And I love the voice that you carry and the intention of your heart to love all. Thank you, my dear. Blessed be. And all of the men. Scott, can you go to gallery view and all the women, we can twinkle the men that had just spoke, because that would be incredible. How do we feel about these guys? You know, these are amazing, amazing men. And they are setting an example of the man in the new earth. This is the man in the new earth. He's not afraid of his inner feminine. And he's willing to serve the feminine. He's willing to, and that makes him stronger and healthier and wiser. So we are so grateful. You can see why I always include the men, because they bring a special blessing. So thank you so much. I'm so grateful. So, you know, this is a special time, and I'm going to tell you a story that happened to me, you know, where the veil of what's behind the veil, what's on the other side, got just ripped away. And it's a Black Madonna story. But I think it's such an important story to tell, to help illustrate the point that what's going on here in the realm of the spiritual goddess realm is actually real. it's not made up, even though we don't know, some of the stories are mythological and all of that, but there is a real connection that many of us have. And that's why we become priestesses, because we got tapped on the shoulder. I didn't sign up for this. Suddenly I was thrown into this because an experience happened for me. So one of the experiences was with the Black Madonna. I was trying to bring my divine feminine work, which I was very passionate, into Unity and Marin. And the senior minister at the time was Bill Englehart. And Bill had a dream that the Black Madonna came to him. And she said, "Bill, I want the rudder." And he's like, "No, you can't have the rudder. You know, the rudder of the boat, to steer the boat." And he's like, "No, you can't have the rudder's mine." and she said, "Bill, you're going to give me the rudder." And he's like, "No," he wants to argue with her. Well, she's not going to argue with him. She just stands firm, holds presence, holds out her hand. She looks him in the eye and she said, "The rudder, Bill." And he released the rudder. Holy smokes. And he wakes up and he goes, "What happened?" He had barely heard about the Black Madonna. He didn't know about her. So he thought, well, I'm going to talk to Christy. So when he saw me, he said, told me the dream. And he says, "What do you think it meant, Christy?" And I said, "Bill, this means she wants in." Because Bill was not only the senior minister of Unity in Marin, which is a very large church in Marin County, but he was also the president of the board of Worldwide Unity. So by him allowing her energetic in so that the messages of the Divine Mother could be spread across the Unity world became really significant. So anyway, I got the opportunity because suddenly the doors flew open and suddenly the opportunity was to do sacred ceremony at Unity in Marin. So I wanted to have Elizabeth Gibbons bring her famous Black Madonna painting. It's a huge, gorgeous painting to put on the altar for our first ceremony, because I wanted to honor the Black Madonna because she helped me to get in to Unity to be able to start doing things. So I called her up and I said, can you bring her painting? And she goes, "Oh no. Oh my God." She goes, "Friday night? I live in San Francisco. Do you know what Friday night traffic is coming out of the city? And you're all the way up in Nevada? Oh my God." She goes, "And plus," she says, "the painting is heavy. It takes 2 people to carry it." I don't think so, Christy, but let me think about it. Well, the very next day, she went to the San Francisco Crystal Fair, where she always goes to get her supplies. And while she was at the fair, she happened to walk by this woman who was given a reading. Now, Elizabeth never gets readings. She just doesn't do that. But she felt so compelled, like she had to have a reading with this woman, that she decided to honor it. She sat down and she listened to her. And the woman says, "Well, what would you like a reading about?" And she goes, "I don't know. I wasn't planning to have a reading. So how do I get my artwork out into the world?" And so the woman sat quietly, and very quickly a message came in to her. She said, "You're supposed to go to Unity in Marin and help this woman named Christy Michaels and bring your Black Madonna painting." And so Elizabeth called me up, and I was so expecting to say, "No, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to impose." And she goes, No, I'm bringing the painting. But let me tell you why. So we are so fortunate because Michelle Newman, and I don't know whether, Scott, you can spotlight Michelle, but Michelle is on the phone with us. She is the woman that gave the reading. She is a wonderful psychic sound healer. And at the end of this beautiful night tonight, if you want to stay on, she has a beautiful love offering to give you, and she'll talk a little bit about her work and who she is. So stick around.
May I add something to that story, Christy?
Okay.
One quick part of that story. The Crystal Fair was closing. We were at the end. I was already cleaning up when Elizabeth came over and wanted a reading. And I said, "We're at the end and I have to clean up. They won't let me stay." And she said, "I know the guy who runs the fair, Jerry." She goes, "I know him really well. I'm going to tell him to let me have a reading right now." And I was literally cleaning up everything. And it was amazing that happened at the end of the fair.
Yes, I know. Thank you. Thank you so much, Michelle. People will definitely want to get to know you more. So we just take a minute here. I have the wonderful opportunity now to introduce Diana and Michael Melchizedek. And Diana and Michael have been involved in so many beautiful sacred ceremonies. And this section of this event tonight is called Gracing the Cosmos. And these are your Melchizedek cosmic guides. They work with ascended masters, with angels. They are a powerful couple. They are a living demonstration of what it is to be in a heros gamos, a sacred marriage of union of the heart. They live from the heart. They heal from the heart. And I am so grateful to call them my friends. Thank you guys so much. So Diana's going to share her living actual stories with Michael about the Divine Mother.
So thank you first, Christy, for the invitation to speak and to share my story, my love, my passion for Mother Mary, my passion for returning her amongst the goddesses and taking her, the narrow image that we've had of her given to us for these last 2,000 years from the church. So I would like to do that both by sharing my personal experience with Mother Mary throughout my life and also from ancient teachings that were held on palm leaf manuscripts for thousands of years. So first, to start off, Mother Mary was an Essene initiate that was prophesied through the Essene community for many generations, that there would be a wise woman, a wise mother coming through their lineage. She was a divine soul, she was an avatar, and she was herself an embodiment of Sophia. So one of the reasons we need to liberate her, especially at this time, is so that we can create our own personal relationship with her and that she can inform us about our own ascension and embodiment, especially us women. To completely understand her, we have to start with Anna, her mother. Anna was also steeped in these traditions. To conceive Mary through light conception, she went through 7 initiations, as did her husband Joachim. When Mary was born, she showed great wisdom from the very beginning. And by her 3rd birthday, she was given to the Mount Carmel Mystery School for her education and all care of her from that point forward. On her 12th birthday, Anna, her mother, did take her to the Grotto of the Great Mother and initiate her into the womb mysteries. Mary at that point completely dedicated herself, body, mind, and soul, to receiving the energies of Sophia and becoming a full embodiment of her. Personally, I've received messages, activations, initiations, and empowerments of the Great Mother through the prism of Mother Mary, literally since before birth. So my mother had had a baby the year before me that was born and died. So at that point, all my mother, her mother, my father's mother, and all my female relatives on both sides began doing rosary novenas, what's in the Catholic religion are known as rosary novenas, dedicated to Saint Anne, as they call her, or Anna, who was the patroness, or is the patroness, of maternity. And they dedicated those, they did that so that my mother would conceive me and that I would be born healthy. And when my mother, for her part, she promised to put the name Anne or Anna in my name if I was born healthy. And she knew I was going to be a girl. She just felt that. When my mother was in labor with me, the nuns at the Catholic hospital where I was born were rubbing relics of Anna on my mother's stomach, as she was laboring with me and as I was being born. So I really honestly cannot remember a time that I did not love Mary. As a child, I used to call on her and Joseph to fill in when I knew that my own parents were not necessarily coming from the highest wisdom or from what I really needed as a child. I recall one time when my mother was, she was asking me and my younger brother and younger sister what we wanted to be when we grew up. And I had no idea. And so I quickly asked Mother Mary, what should I say? Like, what am I going to be when I grow up? And she whispered, light worker. Now, this is 1969 on the East Coast in Philadelphia, and no one was using the term light worker. I didn't hear that from anywhere else except from Mary. So I say this to my mother, and she kind of looks at me strangely, and she says, what's that? And I said, I don't know. And I was kind of surprised that my mother didn't know. So that my mother just shrugged and she said, I don't know, an electrician. So, you know, I was not real happy at that point because I had no interest at all in becoming an electrician. In 1993, I was living in Brooklyn and I began to receive messages and do some automatic writing from Mary. Also, Mary and 3 other ascended beings would visit my apartment on a regular basis, and I would hear them discussing my progress, like they were monitoring me. So I would be visited once in a while, and I didn't always know how they were rating me, so to speak, or what they were saying, but I could tell that I was being discussed. Mother Mary and Saint Germain, who was Joseph in that lifetime, have guided all of my major moves, including my move to Mount Shasta in 2007, where I met Michael. So that started with, I was actually in an ashram in India in 2005, and I was sitting there and I heard, would you be open to an arranged marriage? Now, I'm in India, and I'm not quite sure how to take that. It was a little scary. But then I figured, you know, I haven't done so well myself at this point, so I will, you know, I'll say yes to this. So about 1.5 years later, I was guided by Saint Germain to move to Mount Shasta. I was living in Mill Valley, move to Mount Shasta and be there in the first week of May. At the same time, Michael was living in Bend, Oregon, and he received the same message also from Saint Germain. And he was told also to arrive in this first week in May. So we both arrived in May, and we met. And we were married in 2010, and here we are. So Mary and the other masters have been very prominent in our lives, and they continue to be. So I want to go back to a little bit about the ancient teachings and what Mary knew, like what was the knowledge that she held. So there were teachings that were originally given to the 7 great sages of India. They were called the Saptarishis. And the Saptarishis took these teachings and they recorded them on palm leaves. And for thousands of years, this information was only transferred or shared with saints and sages of India. About 15 years ago or so, a young male Indian guru named Kalishwar came to the United States. He actually, in particular, down to Santa Cruz, and he created an ashram there. And then shortly after began releasing these holy womb chakra teachings. This was the information that Mother Mary knew. She was a master of the womb chakra, which enabled her to conceive a being as high level as Jesus. So she knew how to use this power. Let me just quickly say here that men also have a womb chakra, but women have the womb chakra and a physical womb, which is like having the equivalent of having a power object inside of our bodies. So during the pregnancy, Mary's pregnancy with Jesus, she understood that everything that she did was also going to Jesus, okay? In her first month, she had enough wattage to hold Sophia completely. So she fully merged with Sophia. And as she did that, Jesus also received that. In her second month, she became an avadu, which means that she mastered the 5 elements. And so did Jesus. In her third month, she developed the ability for parakaya pravesh, which is a high yogic ability, to enter a dead body and bring it back to life. So as we can see here, in her pregnancy with Jesus, the groundwork for the resurrection is completely laid here, even though at that point she had no idea how this was going to be played out in the creation. This information has been held from us. It was lost to us, but it's back, and we have it to use. You have it to use. I have it to use. We can clear our own womb chakras for our own empowerment. We can help other women, maybe our nieces, our daughters, or granddaughters, to bring high-level beings back on the planet. We so desperately need it now. So I teach this information in my Holy Womb Chakra workshops, and I also use it in my doula practice. I'm a doula, but I've moved my soul attention now to this highly conscious conception by bringing this information and helping women to conceive these high-level beings. So there's so much more to this story that it could be a workshop in itself. So, I don't have time for that now, today, but I just, it just brings me so much joy. I'm so passionate about this and bringing this out again. So I leave you with that. And just one more thing. I don't know if I have these beads on here, and Mother Mary's asking me to share today for what we're going through on the planet right now. If you feel inclined to get yourself a mala or get yourself a rosary, whatever speaks to you, and hang on to it. Hanging on to it is like hanging on to the nipple of the Great Mother. And it really helps to center ourselves and become calm in the midst of the storm that is happening right now on the planet. If you look at infants, they always grab something. They grab a finger or a lock of hair or their mother's own nipple when they're nursing. So it's very innate in us. And I just offer this as a tool to help bring you some peace at this time. Thank you.
I believe that they have some wonderful offerings, which we want to show. I'm going to bring up on the screen share here. Now let's try it again. We got 3 different PDFs from you, so I'm not sure which one you want to show. But all you got to do is go to melchizedeks.com. That's a great website to have. And that's where you can learn all about their distance and in-person healing, their Holy Womb Chakra online workshop, or their Walking the Labyrinth experience. They also provide knighting rituals, help people with sacred relationships and conscious conception. So thank you for all the beautiful services that you provide, and thank you for being with us tonight.
So Christy has also asked us to do a blessing. Do we have time for that still, Christy?
God. Yes, if you could do it a little shorter, we definitely want to receive your love.
Okay.
And best, especially because you and Michael do this together.
Yes. And this is the Shiva Shakti bond is one of the two greatest bonds that human beings have on this planet. This, as well as the mother-child bond. And so I'm going to first do a blessing on Michael, and then we will together do one out.
Thank you so much. What an honor. And an honor. Michael, I loved seeing the Bindi, the awakened third eye. Thank you for your love and support of your beautiful wife. Isn't that wonderful to see a sacred holy woman bless her sacred holy man?
Mm-hmm.
They share as equals.
Thank
It's
you.
fabulous. And now I've asked Momo Cortez to sing a beautiful song about Mary. Thank you.
Actually, I'd love it if we could stay in this beautiful meditational space. And I'd also like everyone to close their eyes as they receive this incredible, beautiful song. If that's okay, Christy.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? This child that you deliver will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy will give sight to a blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy will calm a storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels trod? When you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God. Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the land. Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? The sleeping child you're holding is the great I am.
Blessings, blessings, blessings to you, Momo. Thank you for that beautiful and keeping in with this gorgeous sacred space that's been created. I'm so touched and moved to tears. I would like to bring Jan Jorgensen on to help us walk forth in the new earth with her magical, heart-centered path. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you, Christy. And it's so wonderful to be with like-minded souls today. Every time I think about today, I want to cry because we're taking it back. I'm ringing this bell because we're doing a roll call and because you are part of this group of honor that promised to come back. We are in order. We are in order of the men and the women of the divine feminine rising, right? Put your hands up. I was told that today we would be reclaiming our crowns. And don't worry, ladies, I know how you are. You say, but I didn't bring it. I have 2 crowns. I have one for you because you are my sister. We have worked so hard to come this far. Look at Kamala Harris. Look at all the women in politics. Everywhere you see, we are showing up. And we need our voices to be released. And when Christy said, would you come and do an activation for the voices? I said, you damn well, I'll be there.
Oops.
When I count to 3, I'd like to say your name 3 times so that you're standing on the line, committing yourself. 1, 2, 3. Jan. 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 Let's create a container of the frequencies of our voice through our hearts now to lift us up. We are arriving. We are stepping forward to claim our crowns. Men and women holding the divine frequency of Christ's light within ourselves and within our heart to reclaim our right to speak the truth and to rise together fearlessly. Today. So we keep that energy in our hearts, and I'm going to tell you a little story. Why am I doing this? Why have I chosen this path? At age 54, I was married to an orthodontist. I had everything. But Spirit tapped me on the shoulder and said, you're in the wrong movie. And my great-grandmother, Sarah, would come through every single intuitive reading and say, Jan, you made a promise. You made a promise to bring this thing that was hidden in the dark ground shadow, hidden a long time ago, and you promised to bring it back out. And I go, what the hell is that? And in Diana, just like you, I went and saw a psychic and he said, you'll be standing on stage running energy. And I thought, am I going to plug in a toaster or what? So this path has taken me into the mystery, the Da Vinci Code, the bloodline. And I've always had anxiety about speaking, but I can't hold it anymore. And all the other women can't hold it. Because I focused on the voice and I realized that's what was hidden. The voice of the divine feminine was put in the dark, veiled, masked, and silenced because it creates waves of new potential that are unacceptable for those that are not holding the light codes for the planet. So I put the two together, and I realized that our voices being marginalized, shamed, and ignored needs to end. And so today we are on that precipice. And the work that we just did in the next, how much time do I have left? 7 minutes. We're going to put some keys in a lock, and we're going to shift permanently into an entirely new field of divine feminine truth. So I searched in France, Rennes-le-Château, Iona. I spent gobs of money. I had bloodied fingers digging little stones off cave walls. I asked everybody, I told Christy all the time, I'm searching for the Holy Grail, thinking it was a thing. And it is the voice of the divine feminine that is the Holy Grail. When we speak in our divine light, we activate people's remembrance of how we could live on earth in the vibrational field of goodness and truth and love. Okay, so a little bit of tech part. Take a deep breath here, but I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you a beautiful slideshow, and this is going to hold some of our work to do together. Each of you holds a node, a recipe for frequency activation that will bring in the new earth grid. You all know that's the flower of life, and it is frequency driven. I've studied the voice. Your voice has a form. That is my voice print. A scientific spiritual process happens within the ethers when you have intentional vibration and you give it sound. Your voice broadcasts your consciousness and desires. This is the portico. I can look at a voice print and in the portico and tell a woman to what degree mentally, physically, and emotionally she's not even in alignment with what she's saying with her own words. And that must stop. To be trustworthy leaders, our voice must be a bell of truth. So this is the recreation formula where we say words, and guess what? Just like when Jesus was 4 and he made a little clay bird and he said, fly away, and it did. That's the field of possibility we are claiming. It's not an if. We are claiming that right now. We have a thought, we infuse it with divine light. We take that thought, we put it into our heart. We breathe life into it with sound and the words. Then we join with others like today, and we create a resonant field. I had a lot of help on the way. This picture in France, I was doing a concert in a beautiful grotto underneath the ground. I was on my way to sing Ave Maria. And this limestone natural washing appeared on the cave wall. And so I need my sisters, and I came home and I said, what is this, Mother Mary? They said, look at the red hair. That is Mary Magdalene. That is the bloodline. That is Sarah, her daughter, who actually was carrying the seed of truth for the future through an entire swath, an army of women who are carrying that frequency on earth. Mary Magdalene and her daughter. So we are ready to break our silence. We put our hands on our heart and we say this together. I now break my silence for 2,000 years. As I now stand before you, I claim my role in the divine plan as a woman anointed with Christed light. Take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth. I have even greater wonderful surprises. Say this with me. I am spiritual. I am beautiful. It's a lot like your song, Jai. I am generous. I am loving. I am strong. I am the new leader. I am the bloodline. I am the adult Christed being. I am a grown-up, and I speak from my heart with divine light. This is our voices awakening on the planet, weaving a new world. Just make sure I didn't miss anything because the big one's coming. I took so many trips to France. We're getting ready to go in our heart because this is a very special thing, Michelle. I've shared it with you before. Imagine that you are putting your crown on now. This is a sacred invocation given to me by Henry Lincoln, Holy Blood, Holy Grail, the Da Vinci Code lineage. And I asked him, where is the sacred space? And he told me, San Salve Church in southern France. And I said, I know there's an incantation. I know there's an invocation. Has Adonai, Adonai. And he gave it to me. And today we put the key in the lock. We will say this 3 times together. Shama Yis Royal Adonai. Eloheinu Adonai, Erhod, Yud Zein, Shamayis, Royal Adonai, Eloheinu Adonai, Erhod, Yud Zein, Shamayis, Royal Adonai, Eloheinu Adonai, Erhod, Yud Zein. You might do a quick screen copy of this. I wrote this years ago, and it is, forgive me, Creator, for silence so long. I now tell my story of how things went wrong. My heart was quiet, my hands went unused. I forgot, as above, so below. I'm going to take you to the bottom now. The father and mother divided, now one. I stand here at last, daughter next to the sun. Fused by pure love, the chalice is full again. As I become, as above, so below. So she is risen, we are risen, and we now lead with the vibrations of goodness, truth, beauty and love, and let it be so. And so it is. So I'm going to go off screen share. Now it's at the top. There we go. I thank you, Christy.
Thank you so much, Jen.
Thank you.
So,
Love to everyone.
I'm going to make a little change here because in the spirit of the depth of the richness of what we've done and holding to the sacred experience, I want to shift over and have Christine Tullis speak to what it is to prepare the opening of the crown and do your invocation, followed by Connie, who will do the activation, and then we'll have Denise Rillis sing to us, and then we'll share our whole nonprofit support through the goddess silence of the deaf community and empowering deaf women. So we will carry on. We will be back again. We will be bringing forth this beauty and this truth. So I think you can tell from the heart energy that's manifesting right now that this is what we needed to. So if I can bring you on, Christine, at this point.
Thank you. So it is so inspiring to be among all of you, and we all come from many different traditions and lineages, and we are brought together out of our love and our devotion to that which is holy, to the divine sacred mystery, the God, goddess reality, this living reality of spirit And we are created to share this beautiful love, this frequency, and this vibration. And this is the time. This is the time that we have been called to, the time of the Great Awakening, the time of the shift. And each one of us is part of this. And we are connected to realms of beauty and glory and heavenly, celestial love. And we are of the earth, and we are of the fire, and we are of the air and the water, and all of the elements of this plane. And we are the bridges between the worlds. So I would like to invite you to close your eyes and relax as I lead us through a brief meditation, going through the sacred energy centers of our bodies, and then I will go into a piece of music called Invocation in order to help you anchor the celestial divine energy into your body, into your mind, into your heart, into your entire being. So allow yourself to completely relax and honor yourself as a divine creation of the One. And allow your consciousness to connect with our beautiful Mother Planet Gaia. Send her your love and your blessings. And from a place of deep rootedness, connection, and honoring to all of life, let your awareness rise up through your body, through all of your sacred archetypal energetic centers, in an easy, graceful, floating movement. Up through the top of your head, up through your crown, where you receive the divine information that you, specifically you need to receive for your moment-by-moment guidance on how to bring your full self here to this world in order to bless this world. And staying connected to the planet as well, being that holy bridge. And so now enjoy this sound, this frequency of the harp and the voice, and I sing to you a blessing of your lineage, of your divine sovereignty, as a sacred and holy emissary of divine love upon earth.
No, thank you so much, Christine. And holding in that sacred space, I ask Connie Liberos to step forward. The divine feminine aspect who channels the divine mother to initiate us as the divine feminine activation awakeners. Recipe.
So thank you all. We're going to just build upon that as you all bring your attention to your heart space, wide open landscape, breathing in and breathing out. Just notice how open it is. With your breath, just open it a little bit more as we activate the divine feminine, as we call in the universal source energy, the unlimited light of source energy, source wisdom, to assist us in this opening of our heart even ever so more. Just receive. Imagine your beautiful, courageous heart just bursting with light. Feel it growing ever so strongly. We're going to activate this divine energy now as you invite the light of the divine feminine. Imagine it as a pink orb in your meditation space in this moment, floating in the middle of the room. And just allow it to enter and draw near, draw close. She carries with the energy of Kuan Yin, the Divine Mother, the Durga, Mother Mary, Grandmother Anna, all the Magdalene, and all the consciousnesses that are aligned in support of Divine Feminine. Just allow all these seeds to come in, all your ancestral seeds that it carries. Just bring it all into your heart, calling upon Mother Gaia herself, the representation of feminine energy that we need right now. Breathe it all in, and as you breathe in, just feel this expansion as these beautiful energies, our beautiful Divine Mother, pours in and merges with your own heart light. Just allow it in, trust and surrender. As you open up literally the pathways and the doorways that connect you to the heart of the Mother, the sacred heart. In merging, know that you straddle both universes, three-dimensional and the fifth-dimensional energies, the celestial realms. It's through your heart that you will do this. Feel and sense Divine Mother in this moment. As you see her in front of you, just look in her eyes. Open your arms. If you don't do this physically, do it energetically. Just imagine your arms open wide to receive her. You're making a heart connection to the Divine Mother. Allow her to just pour into your heart. Feel her unconditional love. Feel that sense of Divine Mother standing there, you and she as we, as one. And let her just merge through your entire energy field. Feel her presence within. And as she merges, allow this energy and have you go forth creating new multidimensional pathways, creating new grounding cords with Mother Earth, grounding heart cords with everyone here. I'm going to ask you each to hold your hands up and hold them to the edge of your screen and just feel one another. Hold them flat to the edge of the screen. Feel and see yourself merging with the other. The ever-evolving Mother in you as she spreads her love, her unconditional love throughout the planet. That fifth dimensional energy. See it, feel it, be it now. Aho.
Aho. Recipe. So Christine, thank you so much, Connie. And now I'd like for us to stay in the sacred space as Denise Relis takes us on a chant of all that I am. I offer to the altar of love. No dogma, no barriers, just love. Thank you.
All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love in sweet surrender. In sweet surrender, all that I am, I offer at the altar of love. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love in sweet surrender, in sweet surrender. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love. All that I am, I offer at the altar of love in sweet surrender, in sweet surrender.
Thank you, Denise. This is how people can learn a little bit more about all that you provide. Thank you so very, very much. This is your Yelp page, so that's how we get a hold of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Denise. That was beautiful. Stick around, we've got more. And then we'll introduce the new goddess that is with us, the goddess of silence.
Christy, is this now? And we're going to talk a little bit. Is Connie going to introduce the nonprofit?
Yes.
Or are we going to show the video?
Connie, you can spotlight Connie, and Connie will. But first, before you do that, actually, I just realized I wanted to just say, because we're introducing the goddess culture, and some of you may not know it, there is a goddess of silence. Her name is Sige. It's S-I-G-E, although the G is silent. And according to my dear friend Maura Torkelson research, she's one of the first emanations of light of the feminine manifestations like the Shekinah and the Sophia. So the goddess silence came before the Sophia, which is the wisdom of God. And when you think about how powerful silence is, noise distracts us. Silence takes us within. And she's a Gnostic goddess from the Gnostic traditions, where Mary Magdalene was said to have entered in to the silence to find that she was one with God. So Connie, I would love for you to introduce our goddesses of silence. Thank you.
I thank you. And yes, so part of my bifurcation in life is to support and be an ally and an ambassador for all those who are less privileged. And many of you know that I do work and have for over a decade in East Africa. And I'm really excited today to bring forth a new community called Give Back to Community Zambia. And its focus is on the increasing need and supply of providing educational opportunities to those who are hearing impaired. And the reason why I'm so excited about this organization is because I had the opportunity of meeting Francis Piri, who is a high school teacher here in Palo Alto, teaching non-deaf children in his own language. And so here he is, Francis with his beautiful wife, Casey. And you probably saw two little babies on screen earlier, but they have these two amazing 8-month-old twin girls right now. But really the truth is, Francis, I want you to speak and Casey speak on his behalf about why it's so important to bring opportunities to this segment of our population.
You will be my voice right now.
Yes, of course.
So first, thank you. Thank you so much having us with you this afternoon. We feel so honored, and this beauty. We can see how much love is had here in the world all over. So I trust, then putting trust in our work to set up GBCZ is giving back to the community in Zambia. Myself, I grew up without a mom and dad. I lived on the street before, a very difficult life, but I was so blessed to have good people like all of you. Frank that brought me here years ago, that helped me in my development and helped lift me up and give back to my home now. So now I can explain, as a man, talking about our egos and everything, we can't hold that. We can't keep that place. So the women, to be equal to us and together with us, we're all equal. So that's better. And to see that we have a woman here, her name is Yufine. She's deaf. She's a Zambian woman herself. And we went to the same school in Zambia. But, when we started this and I wanted to help women and deaf women, but the most, they're some of the most vulnerable humans on earth. Mm-hmm. I don't want to ignore, so many other issues, but they're screaming. They don't have a voice, but they might be screaming for help. We want to be listening to them and their voice too. And I believe that we, I can't, as a man alone, help and change things, but a woman, I think she can. So I'm honored to bring Yufine here, who recently now, she's a student now in New York through the organization GBCZ, to become a world leader now as a deaf woman, to show her power in Africa.
Thank you, Casey. Hello, Yufi.
Thank you, Yufi. So Scott, if you could show the video of Yufi speaking so that she tells her story on the video.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
We'll need 1 minute to make sure that we can see.
Yeah, looks good.
I want you to meet my beautiful sister. This is Yufi. I had been homeless, and people tried to take advantage of me in all kinds of ways, but I know that what I went through is not even close to what I know deaf Zambian women are going through, because they really have a lot of challenges. And Yufi, who I'll introduce to you in a minute, and she's a deaf woman from Zambia, and she's in America now for school. And so Yufi's really found her way out of that. And with Sheila and Christy and Connie and others, I just think that we'll all be able to make a difference for deaf women. And
this show that Yuffie, you are going to be on, or that you are on as of this viewing, is about the rise of the divine feminine. Because what we have found is that when women are empowered, then what happens is the children get fed, the village gets taken care of. And so we want to support you and hear your story, the way that your life is turning around, so that people who are hearing your story may donate so that we may donate to you and your project with the Give Back to Zambia Community Project. Thank you.
So I live in Rochester, New York now, and I moved to the US in 2018, and I'm a student at Rochester Institute of Technology, and I am so grateful that I'm made it here today. So there's a lot of us that grew up in poor families, and we can't get the money, the finances for the education that we desire. And especially deaf women have a lot more suffering than our hearing siblings or counterparts. So I kept thinking, if I could get some kind of support in some kind of way, then what I want to do is give back. Yeah, a lot of the hearing parents don't know what to do. My goodness, I have a deaf child. She must be deaf and dumb. But deaf people are bright. They do have skills, and they can work, and they can do anything that their siblings can. But it's really a systemic problem. The system just continues to really, really oppress deaf women. And especially with something like this is helping us get the word out and really expand the awareness. So I really appreciate this opportunity to share, because it isn't so easy for us to have a way to share our story because of all the communication barriers. So Francis is saying, again, with your amazing help, Yuffie will be able to do a lot for so many. And
I'm glad to hear you say about wanting the platform to share your story.
Well, first I want to thank you, Christy. It's a real joy to be able to share my story with so many people and viewers, because I appreciate all the opportunity to learn how to be empowered. I remember, and that when you have advocacy and people like you reaching out, it makes a huge difference for people like me back home. So
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, wow. So there's Yuffie. I've got her on the speaker view. It's great to have her with us. And
Yeah.
Christy, thank you so much for putting this together.
Thank you guys so much. And I wanted Denise Reales to close us out with a song. And when she does, Scott's going to run, but he said he would upload Michelle Newman, the woman who helped me with the Black Madonna story and opened my world, is going to give you an offering of her love blessing.
Right.
And that video will run, and then we'll be gone. So anyway, thank you so much, Scott.
I've got to stick around until, because I got to start the video for you. So I've got to stick around until after Denise does.
Well, Denise is just going to do the chorus. She's going to do a shortened version, so it should be 1 minute. And
Great.
It's 4, so thank you. Be still, because we're honoring the deaf community, so they're going to sign "Be Still, Find Peace Within." The goddess of silence. Thank you. Just the chorus.
Be still, find peace within, knowing I am here. Be still, find peace within, knowing I am here.
Thank you all once again. Thank you, Denise. Thank you, everybody. It was awesome. Blessed be. Scott, you can bring on Michelle's film and take it away.
Hi, I'm Michelle Newman.
And I'm Eliyahu Goodman.
As we play this high-frequency crystal bowl, we hold the intention of healing our planet with big love. I acknowledge the light I see in you and the love we co-create together.
From every human being, there rises a light that reaches straight to heaven. And when two souls that are destined to be together find each other, the streams of light flow together, and a single brighter light goes forth from that united being.
When we met, this quote from the Baal Shem Tov, a rabbi in the 18th century, felt like our guiding light because we knew it was our truth. Through our love light, a deeper wisdom flows that we bring to the world together. Here and now, we renew the honoring of divine feminine
and divine masculine, Hieros Gamos,
sacred marriage, love vows that we vowed together when we married each other 18 years ago.
I bow to you as divine feminine activator, equal in partnership with the divine masculine I embody. You are my beloved extraordinary way shower of women in living life lovingly, passionately, and purposefully.
And I bow back to you as divine masculine, equal to my divine feminine. As a living demonstration for all men as they learn to express the sacred masculine. Thank you for showing so many men a path for living the freedom of open, loving heart. I bless you with the beautiful, expanded mind that you have, with your amazing, expressive, and dancing heart that is open to all, that is open to me, that is so open to everyone you meet. And how beautiful it is to be in the aura of the divine light that you flow through your crown, through your heart, to our planet, to everyone. I am so honored to be in your aura, to be your wife, to be your beloved, to be your journey partner and to be your dancing partner in the universe. I bless you for all that you bring, for all that you are, for all that you do, and for being alive on this planet. Thank you.
I bless you with light and life and love and joy and happiness and peace, with serenity and comfort, with prosperity and abundance of love and good friends and great work and contribution. I bless you as the way-shower that you are for men and for women. And I deeply appreciate your gifts. And I know that you will bring your gifts to so many men and women throughout our planet who will be so blessed by your love and your wisdom and your grace. I am thankful and grateful to be your husband, to be your partner, to be your journey friend and lover. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. With this love we have for each other, we send it to each of you and to our whole planet.
Love heals.
Love heals. We all see that our species and our Mother Earth needs healing love and absolute upliftment right now.
Right now.
So let's hold that love together in this moment, all of us. Through the goddess of silence, we enter our hearts and offer this love. We love you.
All right. Thank you so much. Blessings, blessings, everyone. Thank you, Michelle and Ilya.
I'm Michelle Newman, the psychic sound healer.
And I'm Eliyahu Goodman, healer of hearts. Eliyahu Goodman.
As we play this high frequency crystal bowl, we hold the intention of healing our planet.
Yes, so thank you, everybody. Blessed. Thank you all.